I think a lot of what John has to say is pretty much for everybody out there, not just for law enforcement, even the private citizen back at home, whatever environment you're into.
That in this COVID-19 pandemic, actually OSHA has relaxed the rules on it, so we can actually wear the N95s. The N95 designation you guys always hear about, the N stands for not resistant to oil. So that means if any oil gets on that mask, it'll actually start breaking down that synthetic fiber. That fiber is not woven. It actually just laid upon each other to make the filtering face piece. The N95 stands for what the percentage number for the particles it will capture. So 95 says, or is going to be telling you it's going to filter out 95% of the particles in the air. So the coronavirus particle itself is pretty large. It can't get through the N95 filtering material. So the thing you have to worry about the homemade mask is the pores may be wide enough to allow the coronavirus to go through. So if you have to be in close contact with the motorist or anybody you suspect as maybe being positive, just go ahead and wear the N95s. Now there are several masks out there. The one in particular is labeled KN95s. The reason they put the K on there is it's not manufactured in the States. It doesn't meet our specifications, but it does meet Chinese specifications. I've noticed that some officers do like to lean in like that. If you don't have to lean in, don't lean in. The environment, if there is a good wind at your back, a good breeze at your back, that's good because the motorist's breath will be blown back to him instead of onto you. So whenever you guys set up your traffic stops, get a good sense of which way the wind's blowing. Always keep the wind at your back. Gloves. Surgical gloves are good. If you're going to use them, double up. So in case the outer glove gets torn, you still have a good intact glove underneath. Your safety is going to depend on not touching anything. You're going to have to problem solve if you have to write somebody a citation. Because once you give that driver a pin, and if you don't know and he's positive, he or she is positive, guess what? The virus particles just got on the pin. So my recommendation, our recommendation is if you need to write them something, give them a pin and say, enjoy the pin. The citation book, if you have to use it, bring it back, hand it off to somebody else unless you need to, it needs your signature. But you guys can work around that. Just put the citation book on a table or something, leave it there, and then there should be several citation books for you to use. That way you don't keep grabbing the same one, especially when you guys rotate out. So keep that in mind. Clothing, if you keep your safe distance, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Just remember that, especially when you're interacting with the public, make sure you do launder your uniforms after the end of the day. And one thing I do want to emphasize is don't wear your work clothes home. If you can, bring an extra set of clothes to the office after you come back in from the field. Go ahead and wash up. If you guys are wearing short sleeves, wash up your elbows around the neck area, facial area, and then go ahead and take your clothes off. And after you do that, change clothes out, wash up again. And then the clothes that you just wore, go ahead and put it in a new plastic bag. And make sure it has a label on it, dirty, something like that, so somebody from the family doesn't reuse it. The other thing, cell phones. Try not to use your cell phones out of the checkpoints. Because even though you're geared up like this, gloves and everything, your daughter calls you, guess what? You're going to pick your phone up. And if you just interacted with the driver, he or she just gave something to you, now those virus particles will go on your personal equipment. So cell phones, jewelry, just remember most folks don't realize that they're wearing jewelry till the end of the day. You take your earrings out, or you take your huge council delegate turquoise necklace off. Most people don't realize you need to clean that too. So a good idea is essential equipment only. Watch if you need it. The officers with their equipment, your equipment, go ahead and sanitize your duty belt after you get off duty. And some of us like caps. You can spray Lysol on your caps if you don't mind a little whitening from the bleach or whatever kind of disinfectant you use. You can actually spray your cap down, put it down in a clean area, and just let it air out overnight. So good time to ask your department for extra caps. Shoe coverings, as long as you're wearing a non-mesh type boot, you're going to be okay, because you can wipe the outside of your boots down. So you're good there. And then especially out at the location, you're going to have to designate some safe zones, especially if we're going to have volunteers. You just tell them this area is the clean area. You guys stay there. We'll come to you if we need equipment. We'll come to you if we need some more pins. So that clean area, everything will be clean. Pins will be clean. Bottled water will be clean if you guys have water for the volunteers. And just some other reflexes you're not aware of. Adjusting your glasses. Be real aware of that. Doing this to your belt after you just interacted with the motorist, and you're doing this or doing this. So just be real cognizant of your own actions. And again, I just want to emphasize, personal safety is going to be number one as far as the COVID virus is concerned. I hate to say this about anybody, but anybody you interact with, you have to assume they're positive. When you assume they're positive, your alert status goes up, and now you're noticing, is my face mask on snugly? Am I wearing the gloves? Make sure I don't touch the vehicle. Make sure I don't touch anything personal that they have. If I have to hand them something, guess what? They keep it. So, real basic self-protection recommendations for you guys. Yeah, as far as the surgical masks, you can wear them till they're dirty. Something starts growing inside, then it's time to throw it away. But again, if you have to interact with somebody and you actually physically touch them or touch the car or everything, after you get the situation under control, go ahead and get rid of that mask, whatever PPE equipment you have, then just grab a fresh pair.
Okay.
So most of the PPE that we have and that you guys have are disposable. That's what they're designed for. Unless you're really hurting for supplies, then you can start reusing them, as long as you don't come in contact with anybody that's positive.
I appreciate all this that's going on. It is needed, and the message needs to be repetitive. Like John said, it's a refresher for all of us that are here to hear it again, but there's nothing wrong with hearing that every day. So I just wanted to put that out there, but we'll practice safety, and then we'll show you how the checkpoint set up, how it's run, safety, pretty much everything.
Okay, we have a 57-hour curfew that's going to be going on this weekend, 8 o'clock, and then ending Monday morning, okay? And then regular 8 o'clock curfew tonight. Make sure you wear your mask and wash your hands.
Monday morning, what time?
Monday morning at 05 in the morning.
Because I work in Albuquerque, that's why.
Excuse me?
I work in Albuquerque.
You travel?
Yeah, I travel.
Okay, make sure you have a note that says that you're traveling through, because otherwise, the officer could issue you a citation. Make sure you have that as an essential worker.
This order applies to everyone within the Navajo Nation with the exception of safety or medical emergencies.
Our curfew this weekend, starting tomorrow night, ending Monday morning at 05. Tonight is regular curfew at 8 o'clock. It's going to be like that. And also make sure you wear your mask and wash your hands. If you don't have to travel, please stay home.